It's been a while since the gods called me for meditation. I guess they were quite pleased by Hajijin's training. And meditation, mostly the meditation part. What is it? I asked, rubbing my left eye tiredly. I was hoping to sleep as much as I could. Tokita would probably would like to talk to me more, lots tomorrow. So, I need all the energy I can. Go to the forest and sit in the middle of an opening we have prepared for you. I see, I hummed. After my constrained meditation, the gods' message are more clear, something I am also glad about. As I was about to get up, I looked at Tokita-san, who was sleeping next to me. He looked so happy and calm. His breathing was soft. I giggled lovingly before stopping myself and shook my head. No, remember Tanjiro. Remember Tanjiro. Oh, gods, forgive the sinning eyes of mine and punish according to my actions. Oh, gods, forgive this sinning heart of mine and punish according to my actions. My chant stopped as I calmed myself down and quickly wrote on a paper for Tokita to read. I knew he would panic if he didn't see me, so I told him where I was going. After finishing the letter, I got up and walked out of the house towards the forest. Stop. A path began to clear before me, bushes whistling and grass going back to the earth. The trees that were in the path also wailed and fell to the sides. I don't think I need all of this, I muttered to myself. Walking once again, the path led me to a clear area in the forest where no trees, grass, or any type of thing were there, except for a small rock that was the size of one tatami mat. I sat on the rock and looked around. It was fairly silent, maybe a bit too silent. It didn't take long for demons to appear. There were 8 by advantage. One of the demons took a step forward, trembling. Are you? Yes, Hanawa. Yin Hanawa. I interrupted, unfazed by their presence. State your purpose. The demoness began to sob as she knelt on the ground. Please save us, she begged, not darning to look at me. We're tired of killing humans and being afraid of the sun. I want to see my family again. I want to enjoy the view of an autumn morning. With a small, kind smile, I looked at the demoness. I just want to be normal again, she wailed, still kneeling and averting her gaze away from me. Do come closer, I said. All of you, please. Us? Another demon said with disbelief. Us? Filthy demons? We shouldn't even dare speak to you. We've done so many bad things. I don't care about what you've done, I interrupted once again, softly speaking. I care about what you want to do now and later. Why did you desperately search for me? Please judge us, if you see so fit. The demoness began, still crying. We have no right to decide whether we should live or die. After all we've done. We want you to judge us and decide our fate. We beg of you. A third demon joined. I brought out my sword and stood up in front of the crowd of demons. Let us begin this trial, then. I listened to the demons' stories and problems, just like when I was the wise saint. I then came to the conclusion for each one of them, and took actions according to each of their problems. As time passed, more demons approached. Way more demons. Some truly wished to be redeemed, though others saw me as an easy ticket to salvation. Many demons were sent to either reincarnation or death, while other demons were given a second chance to live. The most unfortunate ones died by the weight of their crimes. This went all by the way until sunrise. The remaining demons began to protest and desperately beg me to help. May the gods reunite us once again. I spoke, standing up and extending my hand in front of myself and everyone there. Leave now. And with that, the last demons ran away, hiding from the bright beams of the sun. Such a noble yet tiring task, I sighed, yawning. And I was hoping to get more sleep. I need some matcha milk tea. From the edge of the opening, I saw a figure. Who's there? I called. I thought I told all of you to leave. This brings me memories. A tired-looking Togeda said, coming out of the shadows and walking towards me. I think I know what you mean, I laughed. When we met at Naruto Mountain, though you never found me redeeming demons. I have now. He smiled tiredly, which made me wince sadly. I'm sorry for worrying you and disrupting your sleep, I said. No, it's fine. Don't worry. Togeda reassured, holding my right hand and placing it against the left side of his face. Want me to carry you to bed? I want to eat before going to bed, I said, shaking the weird feeling. Someone has her priorities in order. Staying awake all night really makes me hungry, I scoffed, walking away from the opening, Togeda following. I want breakfast, something sweet for breakfast. Can we have pancakes for breakfast? Of course, Togeda said, watching my joyous face light up. Not. Rude. I frowned. I'm joking. Let's make some pancakes for breakfast, Togeda said, struggling with his words. Can we drink matcha milk tea too? I have lemon tea, Togeda offered. Why not? I scoffed. Once we were home, my Kazukis carried me... That is fucking weird. I'm sorry, it's weird to me. Carried me to the bathroom, and the females helped me bathe. Many Kazukis, both male and females, were guarding, more like surrounding, the outside of the bathroom. Togeda's Kazuki, on the other hand, were preparing breakfast and cleaning around the estate. As soon as I was dressed and dry, I went to the kitchen where Togeda was patiently waiting for me. He had the same empty eyes before he saw me. But once he noticed me, his eyes seemed to gain color and visibility. I can't fucking read. Second person POV. I'm sorry for taking so long, you apologized with a sigh, sitting next to Togeda. My Kazuki insisted on having me take 2 baths. I can't with all this attention. Well, they say beauty takes time, doesn't it? Togeda blurted out, making you blush. Once he realized what he said, he also blushed, and his normal, unfazed eyes widened. I mean, you look very pretty, and I don't mean in a bad way. So you're saying it's bad to be pretty? You taunted with fake sadness. Togeda's face read nervousness and fear. He then, in a sulk corner. I'm a horrible human being. This is why they say nobody likes me. Well, I like you. You said with a defensive nod. Togeda quickly lifted his head and looked at you. His heart was beating so fast, and his face was tilted with bright red. You admitted that you loved him, though you pretty much had no taint for such things. You fully confirmed, Togeda, that you were composed to his feelings. Really? He asked with surprise and wonderful eyes. You really do like me? You quickly nodded, smiling at the bucket. Yeah, why wouldn't I? Even if you're already engaged to Tanjiro? Togeda asked, looking at the floor. Tanjiro doesn't and shouldn't have anything to say or complain about who I like and I don't. he reassured, sitting next to Tokita. I choose who to be with, and he. Oh my god, I can't read. I choose who to be with, and he must respect that. I see. Tokita hummed, looking away. Well, maybe Tokita wasn't the only one in your life, but at least you had a place for him. This made him feel revealed. Excuse me, is breakfast ready? You asked, waving your hands around. We apologize for being late, Hanawa-sama. Sakuya, Aunt Yurkozuki, apologized, bringing 2 plates of pancakes and carefully yet hurriedly setting them on the table. Don't worry about it. Thank you for your hard work. You smiled, soon eating. Sakuya, blushing at your words. Hanawa-sama, she sobbed, soon shaking her head and speed walking towards the kitchen. Prepare more food for Hanawa-sama and Tokita-sama as much as fast as you can. You could hear her. As you ate with content, Tokita couldn't bring himself to look away from you. He just kept admiring you with such tenderness and love while you were hungrily devouring the pancakes without taking even a second of rest. So, this is what Tandra saw in you. No, not your monstrous appetite, but well, you are so caring, admitted, understanding, fun, and supportive. You were so benevolent and kind. You truly believed in justice and second chances, something that Shinobu always bragged about, too, though Shinobu didn't truly follow the principle she so proudly claimed. Your stunning looks were also a great bonus, actually. No woman could be that perfect, yet the gods begged to differ and sent you to this world. Are you hungry, Tokita-san? You asked, done with your food. And now staring at his food with content eagerness, Tokita got out of his thoughts and shook his head with a soft smile. You can eat it if you want. Really? Is that all right? You asked. Of course you were going to eat his food. You were nearly dying to. Yet manners come first. Yeah, he replied, resting his head on one of his palms. I'm not hungry, actually. Thank you. You brightly smiled, bringing his food plate close to you and eating it once again. I love pancakes so much. Tokita chuckled softly, staring at you once again. After eating, you went to your room to sleep. 2 of your Kazuki went to guard outside your room. Unnecessarily, but yet noble. Tokita sat in the dojo alone, slightly being the only one that kept the blackhead company. He stared at the room deeply and thought, you confessed your feelings to him. Pretty bluntly, but you confessed your feelings. So, that meant the 2 of you were dating. He felt normal. Nothing really changed now, but that you were both a couple. Speaking of which, maybe Tokita had some things to discuss with Tanjiro regarding the situation. Was polyamory something normal to you? I mean, Tokita knew that only men could have more than one woman, but for it to be the other way around, he had no complaints, truth be told. At least, he was with you. No, we're lovers, Tokita said to himself, mumbling. I guess I should treat Yin-san more kindly and give her gifts. I wonder what kind of things she likes. A necklace seemed like a good idea. Tokita approved of it instantly, yet his mind soon clicked. What if demons use a necklace to accusate you? The blackhead shook his head quickly and kept thinking, a bracelet. Tokita nodded proudly once again. A downside appeared. What if it gets stuck on a branch during a mission, and the only way to escape the demon and survive is to cut your pretty little wrist off and die of blood loss? Tokita panicked and tossed the idea away in a flash. Earrings? No, they could tangle and something, and you would have to chop off your ear and live the rest of your life half-dead person. Before Togeda could think of another dark, unfortunate outcome, he pulled his hair in frustration and fell backwards, his back hitting against the wooden floor with a thud. He sighed, staring at the ceiling. Togeda really wanted to see your smiling face. It brought him such joy and made him feel a stomach ache that somehow didn't set right. It was one of those stomach aches that made him shy and bashful. Togeda extended his hand at the ceiling, obviously unable to touch it. I miss you already, he hummed, blushing a little. As he looked at his hand, an idea came to his mind. What about a ring? It was small. It couldn't get stuck on anything, and no demon could use it against you. Togeda sat up quickly, an assuring blank expression. There was a small beam of determination. It was a perfect gift. He fried up and brought down quite soon. He should give you the ring too? Should he just walk up to you and say, "Here's a ring as a sign of our love"? No, that would be too ticklish. He wanted a moment to be special. Maybe Togeda wasn't as bold as you to openly carelessly spill out his feelings, but he could make an effort to transvestise them the best and most meaningful way possible. First person POV. Today, Togeda wasn't at the estate at all. I woke up next morning feeling a bit guilty about letting Togeda eat dinner alone, so I went to look for him to apologize and chat over a few bowls of cold soba or salmon. The only problem was that Togeda was nowhere to be seen, and his Kazuki nor mine were willing to give me an answer. Was he evading me or leaving him alone almost an entire day? I knew he was a bit childish sometimes, but this was way too immature. Not even Kayaka acted this way. Well, except that one time I took Hanako and Shinjiro berry picking while Kayaka was selling coal with Tanjiro. Kayaka didn't speak with me at least 4 hours until we both apologized on the verge of tears. Anyways, that morning I was sure I was going to eat alone, but the Kazuki kept me company. They told me to be more reasonable about Togeda suddenly giving me the cold arm. I think Mitsuri said it was called that, and simply enjoying today's tranquility. Of course, I was cool-headed about this entire situation, but it worried me all of the above. I decided to keep my doubts and worries to myself until Togeda appeared, so I could listen to his reasons and sort things out. After breakfast, I was sitting alone in my room, pondering on what to do. I had no books of my own to read, and Kitsu would surely bite my fingers off if I took one of her poetry books. At first, I thought about sending letters to Tanjiro or someone else, maybe even Kasa-san, yet I stopped myself from doing so. They had their own things to do, and I couldn't disturb them just because of my boredom. Meditation sure could help, but I didn't feel like doing so. Nothing offends more than the meditation with unwilling disposure. I'll go train at the dojo a little then. A little time passed by. It was noon, and Togeda was nowhere to be seen. Can I start to worry now? Excuse me, I called out as the Kasas were watering the trees nearby. Both of them looked at me. Is Togeda home yet? I'm sorry, he's still outside, one of them replied. I sighed sadly, looking away. Oh, but we can go search if he's around, the other Kasa said, elbowing his companion before speeding off somewhere. Don't worry, Hanoe-sama. Thank you. I waved them weakly, smiling a bit too forcefully. Once they left, I sighed once again and looked behind me. Maya-san, I want to go shopping. Oh, right behind you, Hanoe-sama, a female voice said hurried. The shopping area of this place reminded me of Kasaka in some way. Both places were loud and crowded, though Kasa'a is 5 times much bigger than this, and the stores had many types of things. Maybe I like shopping because it reminds me of my hometown. Sometimes Mother and I went shopping and watched plays, or simply wanted to eat something pretty fancy and wreaking the greed of and hatiness. I always felt dizzy or sick around people like that. Not did we travel to many places in Japan, but also America, most precisely the United States, only going as so far as New York, though the immigrant rate was high and many men were vulgar. New York had its perks, though, not like Osaka was an upter either. Hintuyo-sama, oh my god, Hanoe-sama, which earrings will you choose? Maya asked, getting me out of my thoughts. I'll take the golden obsidian bracelet and the amethyst bracelet, I told the vendor, who nodded and handed me the small set items. How much would that be? Oh my god, for someone who knows yen, this is fucking much. 8,000 yen for the bracelet and 200 yen for the pendant, the vendor replied. Obsidian pieces have gone up these days, I see. I hummed, fishing the money out of my bag. Hanoe-sama, allow the importance of foreign materials into Edo, the vendor said, though I'm glad that we have access to new items. Us vendors don't make great amount of profit out of it. It's a relief that the rulers of Edo finally let go of their pride a little and put their people first, I retorted, paying the man. Though the prices of important goods are high due of being from outside of Edo, and you vendors have to make profit out of it, it is still good for this country's economy. If the demands for the import items raise greatly, then it will affect not only our business, but also the country, the vendor added. I'm sure that Hanoe-san has this already in mind. She knows what to do, I said, ending our conversation. I bowed before leaving, with jewelry in hand. Have a good day, sir. You too, miss. He waved. To believe Hitino-sama is such an expert in comic issues, Maya said with awe, carrying the many bags and boxes of things I bought. Well, there is a reason why I'm ventured and respected like this, isn't there? I smiled, shrugging the female Kazuki. Though I'm more of a political fanatic myself. Hinoa-sama's so smart, Maya complimented. You're praising me too much, Maya-chan. I blushed, twirling a small strand of my hair with my finger. Maya-sama and I got home while I was eating, and she packed and ordered everything I bought. Kota-san, any news on Togura-san? I asked. Said Kabuski, oh my god, flinched before smiling at me. You should wait until tomorrow morning to find out, Hanoe-sama, he said, to which I pouted and kept eating. Cheer up, I'm sure you'll like what Togura-sama has prepared for you. Idiot! Another Kabuski whispered/yelled, harshly elbowing Kotoba-san. He then smiled nervously at me, dragging the injured male out of the dining room. Please excuse us, Hanoe-sama. Right. I shrugged. And Inosuke brought me a hori made of deerskin when he came back from his mission. It's a bit uncomfy, but I like it. Did you receive his new gifts? If you didn't, I'm not going to tell you what the gifts are. By the way, we're not messing with Shinobu-san's garden anymore. If Shinobu says we did, she's lying. I miss you, Yin. Shinobu-san says I can now live in your new house, but I don't want to. I want to live here with Inosuke and Tanjiro and Koko and maybe Zenitsu. When are you coming back? Your pink friend tried to kidnap me, but Shinobu saved me with the rest trick shown over. So now she can't get near me. I don't know what oh my god, what do tricks have to do with it, but now Sakura Hair won't try to kidnap me anymore. Please visit us soon. Tanjo was crying like a baby yesterday because he misses you. Kayaka. Aw, such a darling. I sigh sweetly, folding the letter and setting it inside my bag. I yawned, walking towards the futon. Without warning, I threw myself face first. I then turned to my side, blowing the candle out and staring at the window, with two tartmies away from me. I'm tired for some reason. I'm afraid I won't be able to reply to you tonight, my little dear. Wake up, Hanua-sama, one of the kabuskis said, shaking me awake. Your big day awaits. With a groan, I sat up. What big day? What time is it? It's time for your surprise, the same one said before the door slid open, revealing more of my kabuki. Don't worry, Hanua-san. Maya pumped. You look splendid today. Before I could react, I was pulled out of bed and yanked who knows where. My female Kazukis were quickly bathing me. Once I was ready, they wasted no time drying me and sending me to a room to groom me and dress me up. I'm sorry. The entire situation was hectic. I could only react once I was standing outside the estate. Tokita extending his hand to me. I asked if you were ready. Tokita said in his typical dull voice, yet I could sense his nervousness. Also, he extended his hand shakingly. I guess so, I said, holding his hand. Tokita said, and I went to town. Why? Who knows? Or at least I don't know. And where were you yesterday? You had me worried, I asked, looking around the busy streets. I thought you grew overwhelmed of me and no, not at all, Tokita said, letting my hand go as he could fit his hand guilty. I would never get tired of you, ever. Then why? I insisted. Tokita looked away shyly, rubbing the back of his neck. Actually, this is the reason why I wasn't home yesterday at all. Tokita stopped walking. So did I. We were in front of his favorite restaurant. Tokita interrupted me by holding my hand once again and leading me inside the diner. It was empty and quiet. It made me very nervous. If you ask me, the blackette chose a table that was decorated prettily, an oiled lamp in the center of said table. Oh, is this the so-called friend outing Matsuri told me about? Tokita got me out of my thoughts by pulling a chair backwards so I could sit. Once I was sitting, I mustered a small thank you, as he then proceeded to push my chair forward very loudly. The chair scraped against the wooden floor, letting out a high-pitched screech. I flinched at the sound. I'm sorry. Tokita quickly apologized, scrambling to his seat, which somehow didn't make more noise. On the envy. He just sat there, still and silent, staring at the table and poking the utensils. Sadly to say, I was just as nervous as him, yet I hid it with a natural calm face. Luckily, Mother taught me that the same manners from our professional gatherings were the same as friendly gatherings. The man that worked here didn't take too long to give us each a plate of cold soba. Tokita wasted no time to look at his food, yet I simply sat, waiting for him to start eating. It was unladylike to eat before a man does. It's so disrespectful not only for the man, but for the girl's family as well. Remember, this was like back then, so it's not anymore. My stomach demanded food, but there wasn't much I could do. What if Tokita feels disgusted by my lack of manners? I could only imagine what he would say to me. Born as a child of the gods and you don't have proper etiquette? We're not friends anymore, Yin. I hate myself once again. Maybe convincing can open his appetite. Can you believe that? What the flip? Authoritative is being left behind, I said with a nervous smile. It seems that Edo's entering an era of liberal regards politic issues, I, for myself, agree with this. My words were soon silenced by Tokido's confused expression. He hesitantly began eating, so I did. The food was so good. It tasted so amazing. I really needed to eat something. My hands began to shake lightly as if wanting to finish my food in a single spoonful. If I eat too quickly, Tokita might think I'm ill-mannered. It took me 15 minutes to finish my only bowl of food. Nor Tokita nor I talked during our meal. At least the sound of customers could ease my tension, yet we were the only ones there. Why though? My stomach kept asking for food, but I stopped myself. Why do you eat so much? You'll finish this town's food. I can't be friends with a girl who eats much as 20 people. I will die alone in my isolated cabin in the middle of the woods. I couldn't let that happen. Do you want to eat more? Togeda asked, now poking his food. I shook my head frantically, trying not to show signs of dread nor hunger. We left the diner in a hurry since Togeda was so nervous to the point he left me felt sick and went to throw up all that he ate, which was not a lot, not even in a whole proportion or half. After dinner, Togeda seemed to have rented a cart for the both of us. Said cart took us to the theater where the play had begun. Let's just say we were expecting the actors to get too much into their acts in both ways. Since the play was a fascist, Tokita got both of us out of there and the cart taking us back to the market. Tokita then offered me to buy whatever I liked from the market. He only had money for a third of what I chose, so I ended up paying the rest. That was the moment that told me to lower my likes and budget by a lot. We then had a peaceful time in an open field. It was calm, the wind was blowing so perfectly. The sun was at its best. It was as if Tokita asked the gods for a perfect day. Everything was wonderful except the ant swarm that came after Tokita. Now we were back in the estate. Mind-suri, awkward, tired, and poor. Tokita, at least I'm still right. Due to the entire situation being too much for us, we decided to hang out at the dojo. What was that all for? I asked, applying a cream to Tokita's arms for the multiple ant stings he had. I wanted to give you a surprise, to have fun together, Tokita said, hissing lightly at the wounds. I told the owner of the diner to book the entire place for us, and the man with the cart, I didn't know the play was going to be about that. You didn't need to know all that from me, you know, I said, making Tokita look at me. I appreciate the gesture a lot, but I don't need you to go all such lengths just to see me happy. Tokita sulked. But you deserve the best, so look at us right now. I smiled softly. Right now, we're in a small ordained dojo. We're covered in ant bites, numb because of the poison. Ants have poison, Tokita jolted. What I'm trying to say is that I'm more happy with every day, Tokita. I placed my hand on top of his. Though your efforts today were pretty cute, Tokita blushed intently at my words. Or perhaps it was the ant poisoning getting to his face. He gave me an awkward, happy smile. Without ruining, he held me by the waist, pulling me towards himself until I was leaning on his chest. I could hear his rapid yet soft heartbeats, making his own beats as quick or much quicker. Togeta-san, I whispered, nervousness. What are you doing? Yin-san. He spoke, his voice reverberating in his chest. I felt strange, to which I began to squirm lightly. This feeling, it's the same as we said that time. Yin-san, look at me. Togeta said. This was definitely the same slur and deep voice of Uzui-san made. Togeta-san, was all that I managed to stutter. I heard a hiss from Togeta, followed by the feeling of his hand on my face, making me look towards him. He looked so handsome from up close. His eyes, his features, his lips. There we go. He smirked, still speaking in that strange voice. Do you also love this part of me, Yin-san? Tokita, we can't. I breathed out, my eyes somehow half lidded. It was as if this entire situation was making me fall asleep. But at the same time, It was making me so reckless. His smile faltered a bit. I thought you said you loved me. Oh no. I'm really sorry, Tokata-san, but I spoke sadly, prying myself off of his grasp. You've got that all wrong. How so? Tokata asked, his once calm self slowly turning tense and more cold. I didn't saw Tokata-san with a romantic interest. I apologized, wincing sadly. I never intended to play with Tokata's feelings this way. I wanted you to. I just wanted to befriend him. I just wanted him to be happy, to feel comfortable around me, to open up more to people. Instead, I ended up hurting him. I didn't set a boundary between friendship or relationship. I'm sorry. I apologize, my voice breaking practically. The strange feeling in my throat felt worse. Sad tears begging in my eyes. Tokita looked at me with wide eyes, a mix between surprise and sadness, maybe even shame. Don't look at me like that. I didn't mean to do this. You can hate me if you want to. If you want me to leave right now, I will. I hang my head low, fisting my hands contained my tears. I deserve it for doing this to you. Idiot, Tokita said, hugging me with trembling arms. My shoulders began to feel wet and warm. Didn't you just say you didn't mean to? Don't apologize for something that wasn't your fault. Tokita-san, I braved out. I could hear him quietly sobbing, holding himself, as on the verge at this moment. It's also my fault. Tokita spoke before ragged breaths and small whispers, like he didn't want to know why he was crying. I was so lonely that I got too attached to you. No one ever listened to me much or cared for me like that. God, I'm sorry. I know it's too reckless and stupid to ask, I said, crying a little. But can I still be friends with you, Tokita-san? Tokita looked at me, clearing his tears, and smiled softly. I was going to ask the same thing, Tokita said, and I stayed like this for a little while. We rested on the wooden floor, simply enjoying each other's company in silence. We already calmed down, but we were too awkward and suddenly changed subjects. Besides, the silence was quite uncomfortable. It seems you two are having fun, a male voice said. After his words, a slight became present. Smells like burned beef and waste of food, though I'm not good at cooking either. Rengoku-san, I said, looking at the owner of the voice. He smiled at me, waving his right hand to greet us. Are you ready to leave? The yellow and red-headed man asked, looking at me intently. I finished my mission early, so I decided to pick you up myself. Yeah, I'm ready. I nodded. I thought I have some things to leave at my estate. Don't worry, I got that covered, Rengoku-san said as he finished that sentence, for Kazuki appeared and went to get my bag. Mitsuri-san told me about your enthusiastic towards shopping, so I also prepared, just in case. Thank you so much, Rengoku-san. I bowed, the Kazuki already taking away the things I wasn't going to take with me. Then, Rengoku said, looking at Tokita-san, if you don't mind if we leave early, do you? Tokita's eyes looked away as he sulked, fidgeting a little. No. Don't worry, Tokita-san. I'll write you letters every day. I smiled, trying to cheer up sulking Tokita. It seemed to work because the blackhead lightly smiled back at me. Okay. Take care, Tokita-san, Rengoku said, farewelling the aforementioned male as we both walked away from the estate. I'm so sorry, guys. I kind of had to shorten this, but also the next chapter is an hour long, so I'm just going to I don't know, I'll just make it shorter there. And please, I love you guys all so much. Sorry for this being like really quick, but anyways, I love you guys so much. Bye. Mwah.